there, I'm Madame Anais Noir from Poison Garden, and you're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
Hi everyone, John Liebman here. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com. Coming to you today on location from the Warwick and Famous World Headquarters, Markneukirchen, Germany, with our special guest today, Anais Noir. Hello, Anais.
Hello.
It's great to meet you. I've heard so much about you and your band, and I want to talk about your bass playing and your musical upbringing and why you became a bass player and who your bass heroes were and all that good stuff. So let's go back to the beginning. You grew up in Italy, right?
Yes.
And you first decided that you want to become a bass player because why?
Because I used to love rock music. I used to listen to so many records, and at a certain point I decided I wanted to play music by myself. So I was interested in rhythm, and at the beginnings I also thought about playing drums. But then, I couldn't, because drums were too big to be in the house, in my house, which was so small. So I started with bass. I'm a self-taught bass player, and then after some years, I started having lessons.
Okay, let me jump in here. When you were you listened to rock music, rock and roll. Who did you listen to? What music did you like?
Well, I liked, and I still like a lot, some classical rock like Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, that I still love, Guns N' Roses. In fact, for me, it's a little bit weird to hear that AC/DC is now playing with Axl Rose at vocals.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of rock I started to like when I was younger, and I still like today.
Yes, that is an unlikely combination. I think caught a few people by surprise. Well, tell us about your band, Poison Garden.
Of course. Well, basically I'm the bass player and the singer, and so I'm the front girl of the band, which is Poison Garden. Our band is a steampunk band. It's the first Italian steampunk band. Have you ever heard about steampunk?
Of course, haven't we all? But for those who don't know, tell them all about it.
Okay. Steampunk is a science fiction genre, so it comes from literature, and it imagines basically an alternative past where future had arrived earlier. So it's kind of imagining an era that never was but might have been, in a certain sense. So we set our music production in that era, it's like science. It's kind of a science fiction. So we set our music production in that place, and that's why we wear such strange attires. It's kind of a fashion, and we want to bring fashion into music. That's what we do.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Tell me about your equipment. I mentioned we're in the Warwick headquarters. I know you like Warwick basses and Warwick amps. Tell us about why you like Warwick's equipment.
Okay, I have two Warwick basses. I have one Stuart Zender custom shop, rusty finish, because it meets perfectly the aesthetics of steampunk. And then I have a Corvette double back, a team-built Corvette. I love them because they let you have the perfect sound that any rock and metal bass player want to have. They're perfect, in my opinion, for rock and metal. And I also endorse Warwick amps, and I'm really in love with them because they are so light.
The LWA amps?
Yes, LWA amps. I have two heads, 4 cabinets, and they are really, really light. And since I'm always traveling, I need lightness. I really need it. So
they're light, but they are powerful.
yes, that's the point. They're light, but they were powerful. Imagine that the LW 500 is it's less than 1 kilo, but it holds 500 watts on the cabinet, so it's really powerful.
I knew they were light. I didn't know they were that light. That's really incredible how they do that. What about strings? What kind of strings do you use?
I use the 90, 45 90.
Okay, what brand of strings?
I use the Pyramid.
Pyramid.
Yes.
Okay.
A German company too, as well as Warwick.
Tell us about the future. What do you have coming up, either with the band or with you, or anything else in your musical career? What's on the horizon for you?
Okay, on the horizon, there's the release of my album with my band. We're signing with nowadays with a German label, so we'll start to cooperate with them. We'll be having a tour in the UK in the following months and in the Netherlands for sure. And
Excuse me, do you have a title for the record?
yes, a Victorian carol.
Say it again.
A Victorian carol.
A Victorian.
Carol. Do you know carol?
Oh, Carol?
Carol. Yes. Sorry, can I repeat it again?
Please do.
A Victorian carol.
That's what I thought you said.
Okay.
We're from different parts of the world, so
Yes.
we want to make sure we all understand each other. A Victorian carol.
Yes, I do my best to speak in English the best I can.
I think you're doing great. Go on.
So on the horizon, there's the release of the album A Victorian Carol. I will be touring, but after the release, and we are also signing nowadays with the EMG pickups for new endorsement deal. So we're doing pretty good. I'm pretty happy about how's the band doing.
Well, I would say you should be. Last question, Anais. Outside of bass playing and outside of music and all of those things, what would you be if you were not a bass player?
That's a very difficult question, but maybe I imagine I can be a queen. If I were not a bass player, I would have wanted to be a queen. Why not?
Why can't you be a queen and a bass player?
I am a queen and a bass player because I am the queen of my own world, and everyone, in my opinion, can be the queen or the king of his or her own world.
Very inspirational words indeed. With Queen Anais Noir from the Warwick and Framus World Headquarters, Markneukirchen, Germany. I am John Liebman. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.